Now I'll begin the air brakes test for my Class B license. For the first step, I'll perform the air pressure buildup. For this step, it must have a minimum of 50 psi and a maximum of 90 psi. It needs to build up within 3 minutes. Safe start.
Hey, look, you're leaving a little brown
So put the key in.
stuff.
Wait for the gauges to stabilize. And you press in the clutch. And you start it. And make sure it's in neutral. Put off the clutch. So I already said it needs to build up within 3 minutes. So right here, you just don't say nothing. You wait for it to build up. Alright, once you hear that sneeze, it indicates that the governor has cut out. So that means now you just say needles have stabilized at 120 psi, and both my primary and secondary needles are orange. Then, without saying nothing, you press on the clutch, put it in first gear, turn it off. Then you turn it on, not fully, just so the gauges work, and then you continue. Now I'll be performing the static leakage test on my parking brake. This is step 2. All you gotta do is press in the brake, keep your eye on the needle. Then you say needles are stabilizing. Alright, needles have stabilized at 102 psi, and my minute starts now. You wait for your minute to go up, you wait for your minute to start. Your minute goes by, let's say your minute goes by, my minute is up, and I have not lost more than 2 psi. You're not gonna lose more than 2 psi. Then you're done with that. Step 2 is over. Step 3. Now I'll be performing the apply leakage test on my service brake. I'll press and hold down on my service brake for 1 full minute. Then you press down and hold on your service brake for 1 full minute, all the way down. Needles are stabilizing. Once the needles have stabilized, alright, needles have stabilized at 95 psi, and my minute starts now. Alright, you go wait for your minute. Alright, my minute is up, and I have not lost more than 3 psi. Now I'll be performing the low air pressure warning test. For this step, I'll be fanning my service brake until my low air pressure warning or light has come on. So you just fan your service brake. Wait until the gauge has stopped moving. Alright, my low air pressure warning light and buzzer have come on at 61 psi. The minimum is 55 and the maximum is 75 psi. Alright, now I'll be performing the spring brake pop-out test on my parking brake. For this step, I'll continue fanning my service brake until my parking brake pops out. My parking brake has popped out at 28 psi. The minimum is 20 psi and the maximum is 40 psi. Now, without saying anything, press in the clutch, turn it on, make sure it's in neutral, take your foot off the clutch. Now I'll be performing the air compressor governor cut out test. That's all you say. You gotta wait for the governor to cut out, and it cuts out at 120. You heard it in the beginning. So for now, I'm gonna just speed up the process by accelerating. So for this step, literally all you have to wait is for it to hit 120. That's it. And once it hits 120, you say air compressor governor has cut out at 120. The maximum is 140. That's it. At the DMP, just rev it up to 90 and then just let it build up on itself. So right here, it's just right there. And you'll clearly hear the governor cut out. It's going to do like a sneeze. Air compressor governor has cut out at 120. The maximum is 140 psi. Now I'll be performing the air compressor governor cut-in test. The minimum is 100 psi. You have to say that. Now you just fan the service brake one time. Boom. You look at your needles. Primary needle. Primary needle has stabilized at 100 psi, and then you count for 45 seconds. You don't have to count out loud. Just make like you're counting. You're still looking at your needles. So the first number you say, it must stay at that number. So like watch right now, as soon as the needles start rising, so I said 100 psi, right? Yeah. Alright, needles have started rising and my air compressor governor has cut in at 100 psi. So you just have to say the same number. As soon as the needles start rising, say my air compressor governor has cut in at 100 psi. Now all you need is the brake check for the service brake and the parking brake. So for this step, press on the parking brake, put it in whatever gear, second, let it take off a little bit, stop it, service brake is working. Now you put the parking brake on, put it in a gear, just until it shakes. It wants to take off, but it can't because the parking brake is working, indicating that both my service brake and parking brake are working properly, and that concludes my air brake test for my Class B license.